everybody, and welcome to the 33rd. I can't believe it's 33 shows of the Positively Disney Phone-In Show. I'm Kimberly Bouchard, your host and the author of the best-selling series Positively Disney, heartwarming stories about Disney's impact on people's lives. From where this show stems from, I really wanted to share and have you share with all of us Disney experiences, Disney stories, and all kinds of things that are positive in our world with our Disney lives. And I just can't get over the movies that we are so fortunate to have access to. Years and years ago, when a movie came out, it took a while at least to get to our neck of the woods in Alberta, Canada. But you had to wait to, of course, for the theater, and there was no other option to see a movie. You had to just see it in the theaters. And today we have so many movies available to us, and we have access to DVDs, Netflix, the whole 9 yards. And we are going to be speaking in a little while with a fellow that has an amazing Disney database that will incorporate trailers and trivia and all kinds of fun things that I wanted to share with you guys. But before I go on, I want to say hi to Dora, hi to Beth, and of course, my husband is around as well. It's good for you. Thank you for joining me on this Monday of Labor Day weekend. Well, it's been a bit of an eventful week. We had our new pup that we had gotten last Sunday, and I forgot that puppies are kind of like babies. And this one will get me up several times in the night just to make sure that he knows somebody is around. So it's been a little interesting, and it is a little bit, I think we're having a little bit of sleep deprivation around here, but it's all good. He's growing, and I will share him either tonight or next week's show because he is growing. Welcome, Todd, to the show again tonight. I wanted you guys to share either your first or some of your favorite Disney movies of old. And things have come so far in the animation. I know when my sons and I had the opportunity to visit the Family Museum in San Francisco. I don't know if any of you guys have been to the Family Museum in San Francisco, but they actually had all the cells and the whole artistic process actually of how they created Pinocchio. And then they actually showed the original Pinocchio, which was really cool to be able to go from one room to see the whole formation of the, and then to actually see the movie. And I know that there are a few movies that really stick out in my mind about those movies from the past. And then I want to jump to the future. But I know that the movies that kind of stuck to me as a youngster, Peter Pan, definitely. Wow. To be able to fly, I think I tried jumping off of my bedpost several times to fly. Of course, that didn't work and had no idea where I could even find Tinkerbell. But love Peter Pan. Still love the Peter Pan ride in Magic Kingdom, Disneyland. And one of my favorites. Another one of my favorite movies was Mary Poppins. It was just such an amazing movie. And I can't wait for the new Mary Poppins to come out. Isn't that going to be so cool? I just can't wait for that movie. The other one that comes to mind, and I don't know really why, unless it was just the whole idea of the rescuers. That is another movie that really sticks to me as a childhood. Two movies that I know that are very endearing to so many people is Dumbo and Bambi. And I did not even show my kids Dumbo. I was so heartbroken with and traumatized as a child with his separation with his mom. I didn't even show my kids that. But it's going to be very cool to see the whole CGI and the whole Dumbo movie that's going to be coming out soon. Bambi, I skipped the whole loss of his mother again. I was so traumatized by that when I showed my own kids. At any rate, who remembers in the theater for your movies the Disney cartoons that they would show just before the movies? And it would always involve Goofy, whether it was a training course for driving or whatnot. He always had something up his sleeve. But I remember always watching one or two Disney cartoons before the actual movie started. And I thought that was really, really fun. Just a hello to Chris as well, and my hubby. Dora says Little Mermaid is another favorite. Yeah, Little Mermaid. It's such an awesome concept, the whole mermaid thing that, carries into Pirates of the Caribbean, which is probably one of it's who can pick one favorite Disney movie? I know I can't, but I do love Pirates of the Caribbean and the musical score with that, and how the mermaids, kind of are so cool. The whole concept of a mermaid is so cool, and I actually know personally the fellow that created Ariel in Little Mermaid, and that story is going to be coming out in the fourth book. So yeah, absolutely love that. Beth says she remembers watching Rescuers on a projector in a library when I was a kid. Yeah, those movies on the projectors yeah, absolutely. And I've got another comment here quickly. Ryan, welcome to the show. The Rescues Down Under are underrated. I have to agree. Those are classics. And I would hope that we could, they're not shown now, but wouldn't it be awesome to introduce our kids to all those movies that we saw as kids, or to our nieces or nephews, something along those lines. Beth also says, big fan of Sleeping Beauty as a kid. Love Seeing the Dragon. Absolutely. Without a doubt. I actually happen to know a couple of the animators that worked on Rescues Down Under, and I actually might have one of them on sometime on the show to talk to us about that process and how it felt. Anyways, I want to just say another movie that surprised me, that I was really taken by it, and something, just a little back, our three kids that are now 18, 20, and 22. We still all go to the Disney movies together, whether they're animated or not. And on my shelf, I guess you can see, yes, you can see I've got kind of a Toy Story nook. And I loved Toy Story. I really love Toy Story. And I was on a cruise on the Wonder in, I think it was, June. I went in June. And one of the things, when they refurbished the Wonder, they had the children's, one of the children's programs at Andy's Room was one of the programs, places that they had the programs. I was just itching to get into Andy's Room, because I just thought it would be the coolest thing in the world to actually visit Andy's Room as an adult. So I did get my chance, and I actually spent about half an hour in the children's place there in Andy's Room, jumping on his bed, watching the Etch-a-Sketch television, and all kinds of really fun things. And I got some great photos as well. By the way, if any of you do a Disney cruise, or for future consideration, they will have open houses, what they call, in the different kids' areas. There's three different ones. I highly recommend that you go, because the open houses aren't just for the children to go take a look. Us older children can go take a look and spend as much time in there as possible. So I did not know that. That was my 9th cruise. I had no idea that I could actually just go and check out the open house. Todd and my husband are chatting about DuckTales and Darkwing Duck, and absolutely, those are two really, really cool shows as well. A big hi to Dave, who joined me tonight as we are talking about the different movies. Beth says that the Toy Story trilogy is her all-time favorite. That I'm really, really impressed that you actually could get an all-time favorite, because I don't know, there's just so many to choose from. Well, I have a guest that I'm going to get on the line, and he is a really neat fellow that I actually had the good fortune. I think we met up. It was a year ago in the summertime. We happened to be in the park at the same time. And that's how it often happens, is that I find out there's certain people in the park that we want to meet. And that's really nice when you come from different areas of the US or North America or of Europe or whatever. So this fellow is name is Ed Buskirk. I'm just going to get him on the line. He is my special guest here, and he will be talking to us about something that I really wanted to share with you. So we're just waiting to get Ed onto the line. Oh, Todd, 36 days to your cruise. Awesome. That's awesome.
Hello.
Hey, Ed, how are you doing? It's Kimberly Bouchard.
Yes, ma'am. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. Thank you so much for joining us tonight because, you know, everything that Walt did before the parks always was the movies. And we often don't talk as much about the movies. We talk about the park experiences or things of that nature, but we do not have a chance to talk about the movies as much. And I absolutely love, love, love what you have done. So I'm going to I am not going to explain it as the third party here. I'm going to have you explain first. This is Ed, everybody, and he has created something so cool. And then I'll ask you some questions, Ed. So go ahead. Tell the people what you have created as a hobby, which I'm so grateful for.
Well, thank you. No. Okay, so a few years ago, I'm a huge Disney movie fan, and I always anytime we're watching a Disney movie with the kids, I'm the one that's over there trying to pull trivia information, and I'm thinking about, well, how did this movie do at the box office when it originally came out, and did it make money? And I'm thinking about all the behind the scenes stuff, and just because I've always loved movies and making movies and the way that movies are marketed. And I absolutely love movie posters and movie trailers. Part of the reason that I go to the movies is for movie trailers.
Oh.
And because I think that they're little forms of art in and of themselves.
Sure.
So I'm always trying to find, because my first love of movies came from Disney and came from everything that Disney now owns. Primarily Star Wars, because Star Wars was a magical year for me was 1977, when a little movie called Star Wars came out. In that same year, Walt Disney released The Rescuers and Pete's Dragon. Right. And those were three films that just absolutely framed my childhood.
Oh, wow.
So it was a huge year for movies for me, and ever since then, I've just been into movies.
So, and how did you come up with the whole idea? Because, you know, there's one thing about loving the movies, but there's one thing about doing what you did.
Well, it really just started out as a project for me because I wanted all that information just in one place.
Okay.
I started collecting the DVDs. This is back when actually I started collecting the videotapes.
Yeah, VHS. Yeah.
Back in the days of videotapes. And I wanted to have the entire canon. And so I started learning about the Disney canon and what made up the Disney canon, which movies were and were not a part of that illustrious canonized name. And I found out about the different divisions of Disney and which movies that they would put out. So I started, that's kind of where it all started, was learning about that. And then I went, I wish I had a place where I could find all this information. And I couldn't find it. I had to go to about 7 or 8 different places to find it.
Okay.
So all this kind of really started just because I wanted a centralized location to find all this information, and there wasn't a place on the web that I could find. So I just kind of started it on my own and just started putting out. I started with the Disney canon, you know, all the animated features, starting from Snow White up through what will be Wreck-It Ralph. That's already there's already a page for that on the Disney Movie Database.
Okay.
And then of course I expanded into the Disney live action films, the films of Pixar, the films of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the films of Lucasfilm. I've got a tab on there for Disney nature films, and a special tab that's near and dear to my heart called the Disney documentaries, which I don't believe get enough love. And they're really just documentaries that are sanctioned by Disney, but are about the Disney corporation and some of the behind the scenes stuff that went on there.
Right.
So it's just really a collection of films. Every movie has its own tab, and every movie has like box office numbers, trivia, if I can find a podcast about the film. I love podcasts. I listen to podcasts all day at work.
Okay.
So I constantly update it with new podcasts that I find that are Disney related, Disney movie related.
Yeah.
And I'll throw those on there.
Yeah.
And I'm always updating it with any future releases that are coming. And I'm always putting high definition quality movie posters and trailers when I can find them.
Yeah.
On there. So as soon as a trailer drops or a movie poster drops, it's on my page so that people can go find it.
And when did you actually start this page? So for any of you that are wondering, this is a Disney movie database that has what Ed was just talking about, and then some. But when did you actually start? Yeah, when did you start forming this page, and how much time do you spend on that?
Well, I really started it about 5 years ago.
Okay.
And then the bones of it kind of morphed into what it is. The current format of it has been around for about a year and a half now.
Okay.
And the current format's really the nicest format that I've ever had, and I'm really proud of it. So it looks really good, and it's really easy to find information.
Right.
So I'm really happy with that. But I've been working on it I've probably been working on it for a lifetime, actually.
Yeah.
I'm just compiling information.
It's a huge thing. I mean, I think, aren't you kind of doing something almost daily on it, or?
Yes, ma'am. Daily. Yeah. I actually just recently added a tab to the main page because a lot of the stuff that I'm doing to the pages itself is very hard to find unless you're searching every page every day. So I just put a tab on there about current news articles and things that I'm doing to the so like today I updated the box office numbers and I updated our podcast. So
yeah,
I put that up there and put a link to those so that people can find stuff easily on the pages.
And something that really kind of grabbed me too is when we were speaking is that you have information about where people can purchase all these Disney movies,
yes.
the like secondhand, which is fine.
Yeah.
Or how did that, where is that? Yeah. Tell me about that. Cause I think, oh my gosh.
No, I'm always happy to help people find these movies because what I wanted for myself is a complete Disney vault. I've not achieved that. I'm still a long ways off from it.
Right.
But I've got every one of the Disney animated canon, every one of the Pixar films, and a lot of live action films in folders that I've made. And I've got a couple of copies of them. One for the house and one for trips when we go to Disney World.
Right.
So, in doing those and putting those together, I thought, first of all, some of them are so hard to find because they're either out of print or they're vaulted or they're, on moratorium. Mm-hmm. People can't get a hold of them. So I found ways, looking on Amazon, places like that, where you can buy them on the secondhand market and get them a little bit cheaper. I bought a lot of my movies.
Right.
Disc quality was perfect, and I got them for under $2 or $3 just by buying them secondhand on Amazon. And I don't make a penny off of any of that. No. I'm just trying to point people in the right direction. Of course, who have the same passion that I do.
Yeah, because you would never say, "Hey, here's a movie, you could watch it." I mean, that's I know that, I get that. That's not right, or it's not legal either. But did you ever? Because I'm kind of wondering, we have actually a lot of VHSs, and I remember when we moved to the US 7 years ago, I brought all of it. I was not going to give away anything Disney, but I've got a lot of VHSs, and I'm not even sure if our VHS machine works. I mean, it's somewhat new, but do you transfer your VHSs onto DVDs? Would you recommend that for people that have have these older Disney movies? Or
I would, rather than transferring them, you can actually find everything on DVD that has been on VHS. So I would recommend. So if you're looking for something, I'd be happy to help anyone find something that they're looking for.
Cool.
Because it's available on DVD. Blu-ray is a little bit harder because there are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 films that have never been released on Blu-ray as part of the Disney animated canon, and then quite a few more the catalog
Right.
Walt Disney Pictures titles.
Okay. What I was going to just ask you, can you please explain to people what vaulted means and what is the idea behind the Disney Vault, especially for movies?
Well, that's kind of a loaded question.
I know,
but I'll be happy to try. I don't subscribe to the vaulted theory, but
Okay.
here's where we are.
All right.
So a number of years ago, when VHS was getting popular, Disney had a huge discussion within the company as to how to release their films.
Okay.
Originally, they only wanted them shown in on the motion picture screen.
Right. And I heard
And
like every
finally
7 years, right? Like it was like every
Exactly.
7 years, like crazy. Who's going to wait 7 years? Anyways, go ahead.
Exactly. No, that's right. So they came up with the idea of, okay, well, we will release our movies on VHS. They actually tested them out at first to see how it would go with a few titles.
Right.
And then they decided, okay, well, we'll release classics, but we're only going to do it originally, I believe they said once every 10 years.
Yeah, my gosh.
So they released the first set of classics, and there's a number of titles that are considered part of the Disney Vault, which means that they only get released for a period of time once every so many years. And that period of time and that distance of years has changed almost yearly.
Oh, okay.
Because it's been different for now that we have the live action films coming out. We've had movies like Beauty and the Beast that have kind of jumped forward in line and gotten another re-release because they wanted to capitalize on the animated classic, as well as the live action film. So
right.
the vault has changed somewhat, but there are a number of titles that once they're put in the vault, they're not easily accessible. Oh. You can still get them. You can find them on the secondhand market.
Right.
But once they're put away, they're not sold in retail stores.
Okay.
So it makes it tougher to get them.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's something that there's some people. I don't collect movies. I get the movies that I like, and a lot of times I don't. After seeing them in the theater maybe once or twice, I don't purchase them. But there are those certain special ones that I do hold very dear to my heart. And before I ask you about which ones you like and which ones are I wanted to ask you. So we have so many, the CGI component of the Disney movies. Animation has just gone crazy. It's just incredible what they can do. What is your take on that? It's a different kind of art form, obviously, but we've got Dumbo coming out. Mary Poppins is kind of a given. But we've got Dumbo. I just focus on that one right now because that is it's so cool. It's just like Jungle Book was. That was my gosh, really how much better can you get, realistically speaking, right? So what is your take on that?
Well, Dumbo is my youngest daughter's favorite. She loves Dumbo. She's always loved Dumbo.
Yeah.
And to see when the first flash of him on the big screen where she saw Dumbo come to life, it took her breath away. I could hear her gasp.
I know.
3 seats down.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. So it's funny. You mentioned the Jungle Book. We look at animation as the old 2D animation, and then we saw it evolve into what Pixar was able to do with 3D animation, and where it's come now to with movies like Wreck-It Ralph and Zootopia, and now we see it evolving again into movies like The Jungle Book. The Jungle Book was animated. 90+% of that movie was animated. The only thing that was not animated in the movie was the young man that played Mowgli.
Yeah.
Everything else was animated. So it is still it's considered live action. It's not considered animation. But that line is being blurred more and more with each passing year, and it's fun to watch the technology catch up to. What I can I can only imagine what Walt would do with these tools, in his hand.
He would be so excited, so absolutely excited. I was just, and just thinking about the different movies, like we were mentioning Pirates of the Caribbean, Peter Pan, Dumbo, and that. These are movie, and there's some like not big box office ones like the Haunted Mansion, that, but a lot of these are stemming from the rides. So, what do you see coming, or what would you like to see created into a movie based on a ride? And that goes out for anybody that is listening in as well. What kind of movies would you be interested in from the different rides?
Well, I can't wait for the Jungle Book.
Yeah,
I am jumping out of my. I'm sorry for Jungle Cruise.
Jungle Cruise, yeah.
I love the ride itself. Mm-hmm. I love the puns. I'm one of these. Yeah. I'm one of these wannabe Jungle Cruise skippers who will say the pun lines along with the skipper. Oh, so I can't wait for that movie to come out, and we know that's coming out in October of 2019.
Okay.
So that's on the horizon. I'd like to see another Pass of the Haunted Mansion, or maybe a Tower of Terror movie.
Right.
Big screen movie. They did have a made-for-television movie that you can find.
The Tower
of Terror with Steve Guttenberg.
You know what? I just found out about that one. I think it was like last summer or something, and we got it. And I mean, as hokey as it was kind of cool because it kind of had the backstory of Tower of Terror.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's very, very hokey, but it's fun as a Disney fan. Yeah. You still enjoy watching it. It's still fun to watch.
Yeah. My husband's mentioned, he goes, we need a horror movie based on It's a Small World After Dark. Oh, yeah. That'll be interesting. Nobody would want to go into a small world again. Oh, gosh. There's so many options for new movies, and gosh, I would love to be a fly on the wall, in some of those meetings when they're tossing around ideas. And because, some of these, they green lit, I guess, or blue sky is another term that they will use, for a concept idea, right? And I would love to see what they've got coming, our way, which we're not even privy to know about. So you said, okay, so Jungle Cruise movie is coming October 2019. When is Mary Poppins set to release, the new Mary Poppins?
Mary Poppins will be out just before Christmas. It was originally slated for Christmas Day of this year.
But they're doing it a little bit before, right?
It'll be about a week ahead of Christmas Day, I believe.
Okay. Oh, my gosh. And I think Dick Van Dyke and Julie Andrews make cameos in there, right? In that, I think that one?
Dick Van Dyke has been confirmed. There are a lot of people, myself included, that are hoping for Julie Andrews cameo, but they have not said anything about it yet, and very wisely. So I don't think we'll know until the movie comes out.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine her not being a part of it.
I know.
Some way, shape, or form.
She is Mary Poppins to me. I mean, she is. She is the Mary Poppins. The other thing I was going to say, double check with you, is when is Dumbo being set to release?
So Dumbo will come out in March of 2019. So it's just it's actually just a few months away. We're narrowing in on the Christmas season, where Disney will be releasing 3 films around the Christmas around the winter holidays, and then we'll move right into 2019.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely incredible, because I know that Disney movies would be coming out maybe once a year, maybe once every 6 months. And here we've got 3 like back to back that are going to be absolutely super, aren't they? Yeah.
We are between Disney and all the studios. We are releasing. I say we, as if I have something to do with it. They are releasing about 10 movies on average, about 10 movies a year between all the studios.
Yeah, and you see the credits roll, and you
phenomenal.
See all everybody that is involved. Like, it's massive. Like, good for them. Like, great. I as I said, Walt would be ecstatic, because it all started with the movies. It all started there, right?
Yeah.
I was curious to know, you had mentioned at the beginning about the trivia that you, now you were saying when you're watching the movies with your family, you would gather trivia before to share with that, or how do you get the trivia for the movies? Do you go on several different sites, or do you have an inside?
I've been on. I've compiled it from several different sites, including like IMDb. They usually have a trivia section.
Okay.
There are a lot of websites devoted to movies where I will find trivia and I'll put it on there.
All right.
Some of it comes from the DVDs and the Blu-rays, the videotapes themselves. You know, they'll talk about trivia and the commentary tracks, and that'll get added in there.
Makes sense.
So it's coming from several different sources.
Okay.
And it's just a fun little thing that I add to each of the movies.
I'm just thinking you'd probably be a really good Disney Trivia Pursuit partner, wouldn't you? I'm just thinking, well, maybe.
I have been forbidden from most of our board games from the house where Disney movies are concerned.
Yeah, I wonder why.
I'm usually required to be the host rather than a participant.
Well, that's incredible.
It's still fun.
So, Ed, if people want to find your page and check out all the movies that you have on there, what is the web address? Can you tell us live what it is so people can find you?
Absolutely. It's www.disneymoviedatabase.com, all one word.
Okay, disneymoviedatabase.com. There you go, you guys. If you want to check out movies of every movie under the sun, I would imagine. And you said you have trailers of the different movies, which is great.
I have tried. I've been able to find trailers for almost every film on there, including vintage trailers from the 30s and 40s. It's just something that I love because I love trailers. I love the way that movies are marketed. So I go and I find the trailers and the movie posters. I love movie posters.
Oh my gosh.
I've got a huge collection of movie posters.
You know what? It's funny you mentioned movie posters because my husband actually got me 2 movie posters and they're in French. And we tried before the show to see if we could hold it up. It took up the whole room. I'm like, where am I going to put this? I've got 2 of them and they're in French. They're so cool. And, you know, in the old times, like I was in the old times, but, you know, they folded them up very, very neatly. Yeah. Actually, like, I don't even know. I think they're like 6 foot by 8 foot, I think, is the size of one poster. So my husband did tell me that in our entrance, he's going to put 2 of them up. I'm like, okay, that'll be like wallpaper. Not really, but they're huge. They're massive, you know. And so I think that's neat about the movie posters. And behind me, which side? Anyways, it was a you know, more like a television movie, but The Ugly Dachshund, you know, that is actually an original poster from the 60s that my husband found for me, and absolutely love it because I've got little dachshunds and have a, you know, golden retriever now that our little dachshunds don't realize that he's going to grow monster size pretty soon. So we're kind of just waiting for that day when the realization comes. But on the flip side, he might realize that he might think he's still a little guy. But anyways, I have to ask, so what do you think is do you have a favorite Disney movie or couple of movies, and why?
Don't mean for it to be a cop-out answer, but that's kind of like asking a parent, which is your favorite child.
Okay.
There's so many that have touched me in so many ways, just because of the memories that are connected to them. And I think that's honestly, for me, that's really what it's all about. It's about the memories that are connected to the movies. The Empire Strikes Back is when people ask me, blanket, what's your favorite movie of all time?
Yeah.
For me, it's The Empire Strikes Back, and it really, it's a beautiful film. It's beautifully shot. It's beautifully directed. But what I remember about it is I remember sitting in my dad's lap in an oversold theater with people sitting in the aisles.
Oh, wow.
And people yelling and screaming at the screen with things that were going on, you know, with the big reveal at the end of the movie when people are shouting at the screen. That's what I remember about the movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's those memories of family and time with family. My eldest daughter was getting to the point where she thought she was just a little bit older than her younger sister, and they were not that they were not getting along, but they weren't as close as they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then a little movie called Frozen came out, and we took them to see that movie. And they connected. They connected over that movie and were inseparable again.
Nice.
So it seems like that make me passionate about these movies.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and I know a lot of people have been kind of sick of Frozen. I can never get sick of that movie. I love the soundtrack. It's so powerful. As a matter of fact, one of my songs that I run to on the treadmill is Let It Go. It's usually my first song that I put on there. I don't know. It's just so powerful. And when I had mic issues with a few podcasts back, I don't remember if I shared this with people, but the people that actually created the score for the Frozen movie, the Lopez's, Bobby Lopez and Kristen Anderson Lopez. And it was a really, really cool opportunity to see them. They were actually on our Alaska cruise, for a family cruise from a family vacation. Wow. Yeah. We didn't even know this until they offered an hour of their time. They went up on stage. They shared with us different, they had a big grand piano and there was singing and music and a little bit of a PowerPoint explaining some of the songs that made it and some of the songs that didn't and why they did it. But what was really interesting is their two daughters, who were now, I think, 9 and 13. Of course, they knew all the songs on there, and they invited an audience member, a young girl, to go up that also knew all the music, and they sung a song together. I'm thinking, holy cow! It was just amazing that here these guys, these really, really famous, musicians, singers, lyricists, to create things, that they happen to be on the same cruise that I was on in June, and it was just a packed house, and they were very gracious with their time. They took the time with audience members after and photos and the whole thing. But they, just getting aside off of Frozen for a second, one of the songs in Coco, Remember Me, of course, we know that song. We remember that song. Course. Yeah. So they created that song as a lullaby, as a song for their children when they had to fly to LA because they live in New York. So that's where actually that song was derived from. But it was just fascinating. And it's so cool to hear the backstory of these movies and songs that give us these amazing emotional experiences. And another thing about Frozen that was really fun is, so my middle child, my oldest son, is named Kristoff. So, you don't meet many Kristoffs. His is Christophe, mind you, but same pronunciation. And they kind of look the same, they still kind of the hair and the whatever. But it's funny because when we were in the theater watching the movie, they Dr. Kristoff, and you kind of jump at your name. And then when it was about 2 summers ago that I said, oh, you guys are going to go meet Elsa and Anna. And I dragged them in to meet Elsa and Anna. And I said, this is Kristoff, by the way. So they just had a lot of fun together. And it's really nice that, not the movies, they don't just stand alone. They are an experience that you have, but it goes into other facets of the Disney parks and the other Disney experiences. It's I love that, and I want to just give people a little teaser about the 4th book, about the story that you guys had given me for the 4th book. For you guys that are listening, so Ed and his family took a road trip, and I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it, but they actually met Flo. I will say Flo, who is really Fran Hauser, who owned the Midpoint Cafe. Now, Flo from Cars, and her cafe was kind of, I think, a compilation, really, of the different cafes all along Route 66. But this lucky family, just by accident, met her and had a great time interacting with her. And that story is coming out in the 4th book, and really excited to share that, because some really, really neat things she had to share with you guys. And once in a while, she'll chat with me on Facebook, and she's just an absolutely wonderful woman. And it's really cool to come across these people that have inspired things in the movies, that the characters in the movies. And, I don't know if the Pixar folks, Disney folks, have an idea of who they're going to talk to, or if they just encounter, maybe it's probably about 6 of one and half a dozen the other, when they are actually scouting not only locations, but just ideas for their the settings, the scenery. I just think it's a very fun thing to encounter the person or persons behind Disney characters in the movies.
Oh, it absolutely is, and she's salt of the earth. We have another trip planned, and we're going to make it a point to stop by and see Fran again. Just to give her a hug.
Yeah, I bet. When are you guys heading out there again?
It will be next June.
Okay. So if anybody is interested in meeting the person who inspired, who was the character Flo, Fran Hauser, she doesn't own the Midpoint Cafe anymore, which the Midpoint Cafe is the cafe that is exactly in the middle of Route 66 between Chicago and LA. But she does own the little, I would say, gift store, Ed, is that correct?
Yeah, yes, ma'am, that's right.
Sunflower Station next door. And from my interactions with her, absolute sweetheart. You guys are, summer holidays are pretty much gone now. But if anybody has a chance, to plan for a future road trip, I want to go on Route 66. So it's something I'm going to have to talk to my husband about. I just think it would be really, really fun to meet up. So anyways, I just want to thank you, Ed, so much for coming on here and checking in with us. And anybody who wants to check out Disney trivia, Disney trailers, just information about upcoming movies, Disney posters, where to find or avenues to find some of the used Disney movies for your collection in one place, which I think is awesome. Check out the www.disneydatabase.com. Is there a place that people can actually chat with you or message you on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. You can send me a message through there. My email address is on the bottom of the page. Perfect. As well. And I'm also on Facebook as well. There's the Disney Movie Database on Facebook.
All right.
And you can message me through there. It's a growing little community, so it's fun. I love chatting about movies, so I'll be happy to chat with anyone who wants to chat.
That's great. All right. Well, listen, thanks again, Ed. And I'm so glad I got to meet you that time. That was such a neat opportunity.
Yes, ma'am. It was.
To be in the same place at the same time as that.
It was almost, it might have been a year ago today.
Really?
See,
get out.
Today is September 3rd. We were there on September 1st. Actually, it was September 2nd, I think.
Oh, my word. That's pretty close.
It had to be, it was September 3rd because we went to Epcot, or we went to Animal Kingdom on our 3rd day. I bet it was. I bet it was a year ago today.
I just got chills. Oh, my gosh. That is so wild. Oh my gosh. And I remember meeting you because you guys knew what I looked like, but I didn't know what you guys looked like.
Exactly.
And, but you said, there's, I don't know how many of you there were, but you're all wearing the same blue shirt. I remember that.
Yes, ma'am.
How many of you were there?
We travel in a pack, so there's 11 of us.
Yeah. So I spotted you guys, no problem at all, coming down there. Isn't that wild? Today is the actual day that we met 1 year ago. That's bizarre. Yes, oh my gosh, that's so fun.
That's funny.
Oh gosh. Well, Ed, listen, say hello to your family, and I do hope to meet up with you again. And
absolutely.
Yeah, thanks again for coming on the show. Have a good night.
Thank you for having me. You too.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh my goodness. I just wanted to say, I don't like to interrupt when I have a guest on. I just want to say hello to Melanie and Dave and Lynn from Scotland. Hello, Lynn, Donna Joe, Alexandra from all the way from Alberta, Canada, who we know very well. Wendy, welcome. Taylor, welcome. And I know Mike gave a big shout out from Michigan. And actually, Mike Flynn is one of the winners of the back to school gift pack of cars, actually. So I don't know if I've missed anybody else tonight. I hope I haven't in welcoming you. But Suzanne Negri just joined as well. Hi, Suzanne. And I am going to probably wrap up the show. But before I go, I'm just not sure if my hubby can bring in our little guy, Flynn. He's our newest Disney dog. But I am going to let you know that I'm actually going to be changing the time a wee bit on Monday night. So instead of 4 p.m. Pacific time, it's going to be 5:30. So I'm going to move it an hour and a half. It just seems like it's a better fit for all. I hope so. Which will be 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Central, so that a lot of you can get on and watch and participate and all that. So if my hubby is here listening to me, if he can go get our Flynn, and we'll just see how he's growing. Another thing I wanted to mention to you is I really hope you guys can tune in next week, because I've got another really special guest on the show. Absolutely thrilled with what she is doing and bringing the Disney magic to, I think they've brought to 5,000, more than 5,000 now, children that are terminally ill, and in just having an amazing impact. She's only in her early 20s. I met her when she was still in university. Her story called Power Princess is in the second book, but I just really want to introduce you to her, talk to her about it, because it's just such an amazing thing, and how Disney's impacted her to then for her to go out and impact all these other young children and create this environment for other college kids to serve others. Is just so phenomenal in so many ways. At any rate, I'm going to bring my little Flynn, who's not going to be that little that much longer, but here we go. And this is the guy that's kind of keeping me up at night. But I hope you can see him. He is absolutely a wonderful little guy. He knows his name, and he is a bit of a water dog, which our other golden retriever wasn't quite a water dog. So this is Flynn. He's going to make visits to us once in a while. You can tell he's really into it right now with his yawn. He is growing. So anyways, I want to wish you guys all an absolutely wonderful week. I'm off to California tomorrow for the week to do some really fun stuff with my books and meet some really cool people. And I just want to wish you guys an absolute great week. It's a short week, short work week. So take care, you guys, and stay safe. And we'll see you next week, Monday at 5:30 Pacific, 6:30 Mountain, 7:30 Central, and 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. For now, take care. Bye-bye.